Alrighty, everybody, welcome back to Cool Sports Chat, episode 45, I think it is. I don't know, I've lost count. I believe it's 45, but as you see, we got David, we got Brennan. We're going to talk NFL, college, fantasy football, maybe other things. I don't know. We'll see where the night takes us. David, Brennan, how you doing today?
Good. How about yourself?
Oh, tired and hungry. I've not eaten today, so I'm waiting.
Ooh,
As soon as this is over, I'm gonna go cook and eat. But how, Brendan? What are you doing? How are you doing?
Good. Just got done eating.
Don't rub it in my face, Brendan.
Eat a quesadilla.
All right, so we'll kick it off with fantasy football. Last week, really no one was playing on the chat. This week, all of us are playing, so that's good. Let's see. Last week we did have Dark Horse losing the South Park Cows by 50 points. And South Park Cows, or not South Park, Dark Horse was the second highest scoring team last week. Still lost by 50. You kind of feel bad. You kind of just look into who you play in the playoffs. On the other side, we did have Scott beaten Mark 102 to 85. Brendan, any surprises there?
At one point I thought Mark was going to lose, so it was a little bit of a surprise how well he came back.
I mean, he did lose, just not as bad as you thought.
Okay, maybe I'm thinking the other way around. Sorry.
David, what about you? Any surprises this week?
I mean, honestly, I think I'm most surprised just the fact of who was playing to get into the playoffs or that first round. Like it was a lot of people that earlier in the season they were doing great. It's like they started hot and then out of nowhere things just happened and they should have already been in. Like almost everybody that was playing for a spot to to really get into things should have been some of those like top 5 teams.
Yeah, no, I feel you there because we look at Sun Hitters, we look at Dark Horse. Both at one point were ranked higher than me.
They were doing great for like what first 5-6 weeks, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like,
I'd say first 7 weeks they were. I think at one point they were 5-2 because I was 5-2 and I was third place. And then since then, I think they only have one win each.
See, and what's crazy is you can't even point to like a major injury or anything like that. It's just for whatever reason, a lot of their guys just fell off in all the following weeks.
I can tell you what happened to Dark Horse. It's CJ Stroud decided to stop playing well.
See, but exactly what I'm saying. It's just like it's just the players suddenly out of nowhere just stop playing. It's not like, oh, I mean, like with my team, like Dak going out definitely hurt us for a few weeks. That was, starting quarterback. Like I get it when stuff like that happens, or you got a really huge, receiver or something and they go down for the season. I get it. You're going to drop. But these guys, like nothing major happened.
Right, yeah, and that's what's crazy. I don't think we've actually ever seen something like this happen where a team was 5 wins in the first 7.
And it wasn't even like one team. That's what's even crazier.
2. Yeah.
I know.
And they both have, decent teams. Mark ended up, I don't think he won another game after he got to 5-2, because I think he ended up 5-7 or 5-8. And then Blake only won 1. So 1 win between the two of them after they both went 5-2.
Like, yeah, beginning of the season, even before any of the games started, just looking at their rosters, if I had to pick, I would not have put them in the spots that they're in. They would have been top tier teams.
Right. Well, and then we look at the other side. Scott barely gets in. I think he's been in now for 2 weeks now, kind of clinched his spot and had a solid performance considering his top 2 quarterbacks were on a bye week and his Trevor Lawrence quarterback was put on IR. So he had to play Mac Jones, who former Desert Dog himself brought back, helped him win a playoff game. Kind of funny how came back to make up for lost time. And then Shane, South Park Cows, getting that victory thanks to Bobby, getting in
That's
and
that's
just
the
killing
big
it.
season surprise in my opinion. I thought Cows were down for the count. I'm not gonna lie. I thought the season was over for them. Good game, but they could take it all still.
Yeah, the way they looked last week, I mean, they have a shot.
Oh,
And
dude, they were a beast this last week.
yeah, 180 points. And they play my dad. We'll get into playoff matchups this week, but yeah,
Hey,
I think it's
if
gonna be
your dad's
interesting.
bye week is any indication of how he's gonna do, he might be going home early.
Well, the
Yeah,
last 2 weeks he's not been doing the best. So
And I don't know if that's just because he hasn't been trying, but it looks like he's gotten, he doesn't have any spots open or anything. They're just
mm-mm.
not getting it done. I think they
It's
barely got over 100 this last week.
yeah. Well, and there was almost a really big scare on Monday night with Herbert going down for a while, and you know Heineke coming
He
in. I
got
know
back
he,
out there though. But
yeah,
Overshown, he's gone.
yeah, yeah. Though that was going to be a big scare there for or I guess that wasn't Monday night, Sunday night. But that was going to be a big scare there. So yeah, fantasy playoffs really kind of kick off this week. We kind of have your play-in games, and now the rest of us are playing. Let's see, we got Birmingham Bats, like we said, number 1 going against number 9 South Park Cows. Currently, Shane is the lowest ranked team, but like we said, I think he has a really good shot of upsetting the Bats. Another one that has, I mean, I think all the underdogs this week have really good teams because you have Grayson, number 5, going against Outlaws, and Brendan. You can't be feeling too hyped about your first playoff matchup.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I don't think Grayson's an underdog at all.
no,
No,
how he's been playing this past 4 or 5 weeks, no,
His team has been killing it on the points for like the
yeah,
last 3 or 4.
yeah. I don't have faith in my team.
Brendan, that's all you need. No faith. I had no faith last year, and I won it. So there you go. I was like, hey, I made the playoffs. I'm really happy with it. And then I ended up winning. I was like, sweet, felt kind of good. No, that one.
Taking a glance at these matchups, for the
mm,
most part, it looks like everybody's within about 10 points of each other.
Yeah. I think the
Yeah,
only one outside of it is the Cows Bats, because I think Shane's only 106. But like we said, his team's been popping off lately.
Yeah, I can't count the Cows out after how they've been doing.
Mm-mm.
Well, yeah. I do like that Jordan Addison is now on his 3rd team in our league, and he beat his original team.
Dude, I can't believe I gave him away.
I can't believe it either.
But no, I needed Darnold. I needed a quarterback real bad.
Yeah. Especially like you
I had
said, after
literally
Dak went down, you needed a solid quarterback, and he's putting up solid points.
Yeah,
So,
and then I had Minshew, and he was doing all right, but he went
he
down
got hurt.
too. Like I needed something.
Yeah. So I mean, it
Darnold
makes
has been
sense.
killing it, so I don't feel too bad.
And you know what? The way he's playing, wouldn't be surprised if he's a starter next year, but not for Minnesota. I really don't think Minnesota's going to bring him back. Uh-oh. What is this? We got a comment. Whoa, from Shane.
Oh, there's the Cows representing.
Yeah, the Cows are in the chat. Shane, congrats on, getting past round 1.
These Cows are not ready to go out to pasture quite yet.
I know he commented on Instagram and said this might be his last week, but we have faith in you, Shane. Every week we have faith. Let's see. David, you and me play. I almost started Caleb, but then I saw Lamar plays the Giants, so I put in Lamar.
No, that's fair. You're welcome, man. Let's go Cows.
Would we be upset with a Cows Blueberry Bulldogs matchup?
No.
Brendan would be.
I mean, honestly,
I wouldn't. I was actually kind of hoping that, and actually, I hope David beats you, because that's 3 new teams that are in the Final Four that aren't usually in the Final Four.
Yeah,
and then
I wouldn't be upset if the Cows took the whole thing.
Oh yeah,
I wouldn't
me
either.
neither.
And if my first championship, I think I was, 7-9, and that's what he would be after all the games. So,
Nice.
I mean, it could happen.
Yeah, see, Brendan wins the championships when he's below 10 wins. That's what happens.
I dropped a card. I don't know where it went.
He takes his inspiration from the Giants in their last couple ones with Eli, right?
The Giants and the
It's just
Steelers that
coming out
year.
of nowhere and
Yeah.
Cinderella story.
Exactly.
Well, and looking at our matchup, we're still within 10 points, kind of like you said. And then Desert Dogs, who got in last week, got the victory with Mac Jones. Who are they starting this week? Yeah, they're playing May. When I made the thumbnail, I was like, I think he'll probably play Drake May. But they're currently projected to beat Matt. Of course, they have a title according to the league, but
God, that's
kind of a new team.
That is such a hard choice on do you play Goff or Mayfield?
Oh yeah.
But I do see Goff going against Buffalo. That is probably a little better defense.
Yeah,
they're a better team. Like I think the Lions are better than the Bucks, but if you're looking at who they're going against, I think it evens out.
Let's see. Let's help Shane. He put in Geno Smith against Green Bay versus Russell Wilson against Philadelphia. Brennan, do you think that's a good pick?
Yeah, probably.
If Blake played Bryce Young last week, he might have done better. Did you see Bryce Young had the game-winning touchdown and his guy dropped it? We'll get to it.
My receiver.
Brendan's receiver.
Did you see the Dallas Cowboys blocked a punt and would have had it right there last night, and instead just decided to give the ball away?
I did not until this morning.
Yeah.
Oh, I was so
100%
confused.
Would have been their game.
I was so confused when before they showed replays and stuff. I was like, wait, how did that happen?
Stupidity.
Yeah.
I woke up
being bad at football.
I woke up and watched the Simpsons cast or whatever, and then
it was
I read.
Pretty cool.
Yeah, it was actually they put a lot of work into it. I was watching it because they had all the player intros and stuff, and then when the touchdowns, certain things are like the players would get off to a good run, like fire would come out and stuff.
Yep. I love seeing Lisa running with flames out of her feet. It was it's so goofy, but I actually really enjoyed it. It makes me wish that I would have watched the Toy Story one they did earlier this year.
Right. Well, because with SpongeBob, they don't go this far, right? They just kind of have the SpongeBob characters kind of like commentating.
Yeah, with the Nickelodeon one, they do that. Yeah. And then I think when they get a touchdown, they do animated slime going down, going off. But I feel like these ones where they basically turn it totally animated is very cool technology. I mean, it kind of looks like a PlayStation 2 on level of graphics, but it's still pretty cool. It reminded me of the Simpsons hit and run game.
Yeah.
That's what it looked like, but I enjoyed it. I think they did a good job. You can tell. I like that they put in a lot of little details for people that watch The Simpsons. There was a lot of those minor characters and things. It's okay, it makes sense why they would be there or doing that. I kind of hope they do more things like that. I think it's a really cool way to bring more people into football.
Yeah, and it's not like they took away the cast. If you didn't like it, you could go watch the normal one.
Exactly, yeah.
And I agree with you. I think they should continue to do this. Football's gotten really big the last few years. It's international. Keep doing stuff like that. It's going to push it to audiences that may not have ever watched football. They just
I think I mentioned this to you. They even had segments that were explaining different positions to people, just a brief thing of what they did. So anybody who just doesn't ever watch football could still get a good idea, the basic concepts. Oh, okay, this guy does that. I thought that was pretty cool. It's a really neat way of introducing it and letting people kind of learn the game, I think.
Yeah. See, so NFL, we booed you when you did the put games on every streaming service, but we're going to applaud you today for a really kind of fun little presentation.
What are you talking about? You can just buy YouTube NFL ticket for $500 a year.
I mean, at this point, it might be cheaper, honestly.
But you get all the other stuff on the streaming.
Right. But at one point, it was cheaper for Carolina Panther fans to just go to every home game versus stream it. And I think that's an issue.
That's insane.
Yeah. But yeah, all right. So before we get to NFL last week, we'll just kind of preview the games right now. South Park, Birmingham, like we said, I think this is going to be a good matchup. Right now, it looks like we just got Gino versus Justin Herbert, as long as he can play, or maybe old Aaron Rodgers gets a start versus Jacksonville. We'll see there. I already gave away who I was starting Lamar this week against the Giants. I was going to roll with Caleb, but I was like, no, it's too good of a matchup to miss, which means the Giants could get the upset. Sam Darnold starting for David, which I think is a good call.
Going against the Chicago defense, yeah.
And well, they've played once. We saw what they did. I almost started because Caleb did really good last time they played. But I was like, man, the Giants are too good of an opportunity to mess up. Like, if I lose because I picked him,
you
I'm
should
fine
do
with
it because then it's like our matchup is happening on the field.
That
can't
would
get better
be
than
kind of
that.
fun. What's the projected points?
Lamar's got 33.
Caleb's got 21.
21. Yeah, don't do it.
Yeah.
I would like if I won, I would feel bad if that's how I won. All right, if I win, I want to do it the right way. Don't do it. It'd be fun, but maybe another time.
Right. Hey, next year, when Caleb has a competent coach and maybe an offensive line.
It's going to be next year when we're in the championship against each other and we only play our kickers.
Just who has the better kicker?
Yep. The Golden Boot Award.
We'll even make it so the flex. I don't know if NFL will let you, but I was going to be like, in the flex, running back, wide receiver, kicker.
That would be really funny.
You
could probably do that.
Tight end for flex.
There's not enough good tight ends. There's kickers, though. Actually, this last week, we'll talk about it. Terrible week again for kickers. They've just been looking bad. And maybe that's good because it makes the extra points not as
I mean, if it wasn't for the fact that there's black magic happening for Kansas City, they wouldn't have won that game.
Hey, the Kansas Kai Monster. He wants his team to win. So
I don't know what the hell happened, man. I'm so sick of that team.
Let's see. Other quarterback matchup. We got Baker Mayfield and the Bulldogs taking on Jaden Daniels and the Outlaws. Brendan benched Hurts, but Daniels plays New Orleans. Who does? Oh, Pittsburgh. Yeah, that's probably a good call there, Brennan. Because Pittsburgh has
I feel like it could go either way.
Mm-hmm.
It could. Jaden is coming off a bye though, so I feel like he's a little more.
Yeah, and I don't think New Orleans really has anything to play for at this point.
And their quarterback just injured himself by jumping over another Saints player out of bounds.
Yeah, whereas Steelers are definitely right in the thick of it still. Like they could still pull off that playoff appearance. They just gotta not lose these last few games.
They could still win the division.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
They're still in the talks for it. So I think it's a smart choice. I would definitely do Daniels. Same with Mayfield and Goff. I think Buffalo's got a better defense.
Well, here's the one that is going to be a hard one. Do you play Josh Allen against Detroit or Joe Burrow versus Tennessee? I mean, Joe Burrow, Tennessee's a worse offense or worse defense, but Josh Allen had 6 touchdowns last week. And that's what Matt's conundrum this week.
That's Matt's conundrum every week.
I feel like Detroit's strength is more in their offense than their defense.
Well, yeah, because half their defense is on injured reserve.
Yeah, so I might have to. I mean, look how well Josh Allen did though, and still didn't win the game this last week.
That's a defense issue. That's not a Josh Allen issue.
No, it's not. But I'm saying that's insane that they still didn't win with one of the probably top performances of the week from a quarterback. So I think he's going to be fired up to keep. He wants that win. I would probably. I'd go Allen over Burrow.
So right now, Matt also doesn't have a kicker. Matt, get a kicker.
He does.
That's what's gonna change it around for him.
He's on IR. He hasn't put him back in yet.
I mean, honestly, it looks like Bulldogs, their kicker's got 8 points projected. If Matt gets the same, they're going to be literally tied.
Oh, no, Bulldogs plays
Desert Dogs.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, he has He has Koo, who hasn't been looking too hot either. So
Why do we have two teams that are both Bulldogs, essentially? He needed to
I
pick a
don't.
better logo. Dude, that's the Desert Dogs. That's literally a bulldog.
I mean, I did make those logos. Grayson, to be fair, wasn't originally a bulldog. I forget what his team was originally.
I don't remember. Was he the
I don't know
Panther?
what's going on. Grayson's logo, it looks like a dog version of like the Mike Myers mask. Like, I don't know what's going on with that. It's kind of rough looking. It's scary.
He's making fun of your artistic abilities.
Hey, I didn't make Grayson's.
Yeah, he didn't make Grayson's. The other one looks good. Like the Desert Dogs. I will say though, it reminds me more of a basketball logo than a football logo, but it still looks good.
Yeah. Hey, the Sun Hitters was based off of the Golden State Warriors basketball logo. I just put it the sun and then the brick, but I was like, it's perfect, you know. Mine has a little
obviously
Easter
LA
egg.
Rams.
Yeah, and then I have a little Joker Easter egg on it as well as the Dark Order in the horns. So I got some little Easter eggs. All right, so there's playoffs. Let's look at last week. What was Thursday? Because I thought Thursday was a good game, right?
Who was it?
Green Bay and Detroit.
Yes.
Green Bay winning, or Detroit winning.
Yeah, 34,
close game up
31.
until the end.
Yeah, no, it was a good matchup though. That whole division, outside of one team maybe, but that division is going to be very tough, and I wouldn't be surprised if the conference championship comes down to two teams from that division, because the Lions, Packers, Vikings, all looking really, really good. And yeah, Detroit looked good. They're doing everything right to win, and you know, there was the fourth down on the 16. They went for it on their own 16, and I was like, man, that's a ballsy call right there. But it worked out, you know. And I guess in games like this, I
feel like we've been seeing a lot more fourth down calls this season.
Oh yeah.
Maybe I'm wrong, but I feel like it's more than what we usually get per season.
I think it's because more coaches are listening to the analytics, as they call it.
Oh, when it's like the percentage of go for it or not kind of thing?
Yeah, and they're like, but the go for it's like 80%. And they're like, yeah, but you're on your own 35. And they're like, yeah, I don't know.
Like, you're on your own 10.
Oh, man, that was this
sure?
One. Yeah.
And it is the second quarter.
Yeah. Well, I think wasn't Detroit's like pretty early on? Like it was
I think it was. It was like, yeah, second or third.
Yeah. And I was like, man, that is like, if they lose, that's a terrible call, but they win. So, I mean, when you win, it's good. Josh Jacobs, 3 touchdowns for me when I'm on a bye week. So I'm sure this week he'll do nothing, David. You should be excited for that.
We'll see.
That's what Mixon did that one week. He did really good, helped me win that game. Nothing the next week. So what's our next matchup? We got Jaguars in a thrilling 10-6 victory. Man,
I was on the edge of my seat the whole time.
Maybe on the edge of your seat because you were falling asleep, David. It's got to say something that Mac Jones looks so bad, and yet he was able to win for 2 teams, fantasy and real life. Look at that.
I mean, when you barely need double digits to get the win, nobody's going to be that impressed.
Yeah, when you don't even need 2 touchdowns, a kicker could kick 4 field goals and beat you. Not good. I think Callahan from Titans might be on the hot seat. Like he could be a one and done coach. They just have looked terrible, and they got a really nice looking stadium that's upcoming, and they're going to need to fill it, and they're going to need to put some enthusiasm in it because they're going to have to pay that off. So they're going to have to figure it that way.
Sell those tickets.
Yeah. Sell it by getting good coaches, good players. Dolphins beat the Jets, but the Jets, maybe one of their better showings this year, took it to overtime. Just weren't able to get it done. And Tyreek Hill, Jonnu Smith, Tua, just too powerful there.
It's the opposite. the Jets took the lead with under a minute left and let the Dolphins run down the field and score.
I really thought the Jets were going to pull it off.
That's 2 weeks in a row. They should have beat Seattle. I should have been on with a paper bag the next day. But they should have beat Seattle. They should have beat Miami. And granted, they are on their interim coach. They don't have a GM. Half the players probably won't be with them next year. So I don't know. Hassan Reddick is probably wishing he was still in Philadelphia at this point. Here's another one. Vikings murdered Kirk Cousins and the Falcons. And this is a couple weeks now. Penix has been put in a couple times. And I think at some point we're going to see Penix play a full game this year. Because I don't know what happened to Kirk. He was playing really well, but he's fallen off. I don't think he's thrown a touchdown. He's thrown like 8 interceptions the last 3 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
You think he's done after this season?
I mean, I think his contract's one of those where they can't get rid of him this year.
But you think they maybe bench him?
Yeah, I could see them be like, hey, we're just going to pay you. You're going to be on the bench, though. Like, Penix is here. He gives us a little bit more opportunity.
That's an expensive backup quarterback.
Yeah. I think the Browns might be in that boat, too, next year, though. I mean, they've looked better. They haven't been able to close the games, but they've looked better. Here's another thrilling one. Saints 14-11. And Derek Carr gets himself hurt with a good amount of time in the fourth quarter. By leaping over one of his offensive linemen, he breaks his hand coming down.
As one does.
Like, out of bounds. He didn't need to do that leap. I don't know what he was doing. It was dumb. But they still win the game because the Giants, Drew Lock got them into field goal position and they missed it because it got deflected and they were out the 25-yard line. And I was like, that is insane. I mean,
it's
Giants
just
fans,
embarrassing.
Yeah. But hey, you're going to get a top quarterback next year. So
if they pick one,
would you be sad, David, if yours went to the Giants?
Honestly, the way he's been playing, not really. I still think he's great, and he'd be better for them than anybody they do have. But yeah. I don't. If Ewers can keep developing, he'll end up being a solid NFL quarterback. But he's got the potential to wash out too. Right now, I think.
Yeah, next year's draft class, I think, is going to be a hit and miss for quarterbacks. I think Shedeur probably. It's hard to say he's the most. I don't know.
I wouldn't be surprised if this is one of those draft classes where the ones who end up being big names are going to be people that were taken 7th, 8th round, kind of those diamond in the rough kind of. Exactly. Yeah. Those guys that they're we'll pick him up because he's cheap. It's have him around, and then 2-3 years from now they're going to be a starter that blows us all away.
Right. I could see it. It's not a. I mean, there's a couple big names, but nothing like last year. Nothing like 2 years ago.
Now, the class after that one, I think the next year or two after this one's going to be real good.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's why I think
got a lot of talent coming in.
We got someone wanting us to pick some people. Pick one flex. Evan, Scary Terry, Jackson Smith, Jibba, Connor, full PPR. I don't know who does any of these people play.
Well,
he told you what they play.
No, who are they playing against? Arizona.
Oh, I was about to say.
Who's Connor going against, Brendan? You have him.
It's a good question. Terry is going against the Saints though, because that's Terry McLaurin.
Yeah, I have to go. I got to go. Scary Terry against the Saints. I think they're not. I mean, they barely beat the Giants.
Yeah, the Giants are terrible.
Against New England.
Connor's going against New England, who's also not good. I would say not.
There we go. Terry and Connor. That's where I'd go.
Yeah. Yeah, because Jackson Smith plays Green Bay. Seattle plays them. So
Jesus, they're going to massacre
the Chargers.
What?
Evans plays Chargers.
Yeah, so don't pick Evans. Chargers have a good defense.
Yeah, I'm going Terry and Connor.
Yeah, I like it. Ravens or Broncos defense. Ravens play the Giants. Who do the Broncos play?
That's true. Yeah.
Indy.
You don't even have to tell me who the Broncos play. Ravens, 100%.
Yeah, I was gonna say Ravens play the Giants.
Not only that, but they're coming off the bye, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're going to be well rested. They got their guys ready to go, and Ravens are still in that fight for getting those top spots. So I like the Ravens in this one big time.
Oh, it's Indianapolis for Denver. Yeah, I would feel better going against the Giants than. I mean, Indy's not
they're
blowing
both
away
solid choices, to be honest. Like, they're both going to probably do well. I don't think the difference is going to be a massive amount of points, but I would take the Ravens over Broncos.
Yeah.
Denver is losing one of their starting cornerbacks. Riley Moss sounds like he's going to be out for the next couple weeks. So
we'll see. Even more solidifying to the Ravens' choice. See, that's why people tune in.
So that if they lose, they can blame us.
exactly.
Good choice, TS. I mean, again, if you do go with the Broncos, I don't think it's going to be the worst. I think they're still probably going to do a good performance this week. So I wouldn't be too upset if you don't get the Ravens. But if I had to pick either one, I'd go with the Ravens. But it's only by like 5-10% more. It's close to a coin flip.
Yeah. See, I almost forget about like waivers because we really don't have that in our league. We're more set up like an actual NFL type of situation.
We have it, but I don't think we use it very often.
No, because it's like the real NFL. If a big name player goes out, who are you gonna,
Better fix it.
Yeah, because Cowboys
Plug that hole.
To use that example again, they didn't go out and really add anybody because who are you gonna add? Currently have Philly.
I agree. They're gonna have their hands full with
against
Steelers.
Pittsburgh. Yeah. Plus, it's one of those in-state rivalries, which Pittsburgh, or we'll say Cleveland doesn't like Pittsburgh. Cleveland doesn't like Philadelphia. Pittsburgh doesn't
Nobody
like
likes
Philly,
Philadelphia.
except for Brendan.
Like Philly.
I do like one of their buildings.
Great city.
Brotherly love, right?
As long as you're wearing an Eagles jersey, yeah.
Brendan, we could say that about Denver. You know how many times I've been harassed? That makes me buy more jerseys that are just.
I'm sorry. No, you cannot compare the sports atmosphere in Denver, Colorado.
Oh, you can. When it comes to
Philadelphia,
it's gotten there.
There's no way. You got to have a good team before you can feel that way.
So Denver, during the Super Bowl week, one guy threatened to stab me at work because I wore my Seahawks jersey.
Maybe that was just because it was you.
No, it was just
I'm
a
not
random
sure it had
customer.
anything to do with the jersey.
It was just a random customer. No, they've gotten bad. There's a new influx of like fans that are not old school fans, which are like still cool fans to be around, But these new school fans, just not cool. I don't know where they came from. Super Bowl years. No, actually, having been in real estate, a lot of Californians are moving to either Texas or Idaho. I know.
Right, because those two are comparable.
I know. It was really weird, but Idaho, I would say 98% of my contracts I did there were from California.
To be fair, Idaho's probably dirt cheap.
Not anymore. It was.
I mean, compared to California?
Yeah, compared to California. Compared to Colorado, it's more expensive, though. And I know
Texas is getting more expensive, but it's still much cheaper than California.
Yeah,
especially depending on where you're going.
I'll just stay here in Kansas where it's pretty cheap.
For now, Brennan, they're all going there.
Until they find out about the kite monster.
Yeah, see, that's why Brendan has to keep telling people. Brendan, also, speaking of which, we have tagged you twice about this kite monster in the crypto chat and I've gotten no response.
Only twice? I'm pretty sure there's been like 4 or 5, I feel like.
Okay, twice in the last few days. We said, yo, Brennan, no kite monster in this? No response. I think he's okay with it.
It's almost like Brendan has a life.
Brennan,
and we know that's not true, so I don't know what's going on.
Hey, I'm building shit in my garage. I don't have time for your shenanigans.
It's not shenanigans. This is for science, okay? For science.
When
We're
he
gonna
says
write a
building,
scientific paper.
he's like doing little Warhammer figures and stuff, right? Painting them up.
No, he was building
That's
a life-size model of the kite monster in his garage.
Why would I do that in the cold garage? I have a warm house to build my Warhammer figures in. And they're not Warhammer. It's Legion. I do Stormtroopers. Thank you very much.
Well, before Brendan makes himself look even worse, we're going to keep going with the football.
Speaking of Brendan, your Eagles got away with a victory this week.
Yes, they did.
I know you and me were going back and forth because Bryce Young, I think at this point, he's done enough that they will not draft a quarterback. He looks good. He's outplaying CJ Stroud statistically. He had them in the victory, but your fantasy wide receiver dropped it on the 1 yard line.
Yep.
As he was coming down, too. And I was like, damn it, replays. Like, if there was no replays, that was a touchdown because you could barely tell he dropped it.
Yeah.
So how do you feel after that week? I mean, it's kind of a trap game, but...
And that's kind of what I was going into it with. It was a trap game. I kind of do agree with A.J. Brown. I think... I don't know if they need to pass more or I don't know what, but...
I agree with A.J. Brown, too.
That their passing is not
definitely not biased there at all.
Well, he had more targets than anyone else.
Than Smith, yeah.
But yeah,
their pass game did not look good, and which was weird because like Barkley would get it and run for 10, 11 yards every run, and I was like, just keep running him. I mean, they're not stopping him, and like every pass. Hurts was getting sacked or incompleting, like because he was getting rushed. I don't know if it's offensive line that needs some adjustment, but yeah, it was a weird game.
Which I think they have all of their starters. I don't think anyone's hurt anymore, so I can't even tell you like it's because we have a backup or something in there. So I don't know.
It's just kind of that November into December kind of lull that some teams go into, I think. For some reason, this time of year, there's always like a weird kind of energy just in a bunch of teams.
Well, and we've seen it with Sirianni before, where they've gone into a lull.
Dude, they collapsed so hardcore last year.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Luckily, I think they pulled it together enough that that's not going to happen this year. But, man, that was epic last year. That I've never seen a team self-destruct quite the same way.
Well, this year we'll see because I know there's like trouble in the locker room between Brown and Hurts,
which is really funny because then they show a video of them like praying together.
God, stop me from beating his ass on the.
Like, one player's like, "Yeah, they're not friends anymore," and then like 2 seconds later, you see them like talking and joking and praying and.
Who was it that came out with that?
Graham.
Why would you come out with that? Like, why would you go to the media of old people and be like, yo, my quarterback and my star receiver, they might fight. Like, they might do better than that Paul Tyson fight in the locker room.
Brown
you might want to
wasn't
put it on Netflix.
Brown, according to Brown, he wasn't purposely calling out just Hurts. So
the offense.
No. I meant a lot of people suck, not just you.
Well, when he just said the passing game needs to improve, he was not talking about Hurts. He was meaning the offense in general.
Well, and I will say one thing that might be hurting them in the pass game is their tight end injury. Without Goddard, they really don't have any other tight ends. Yeah. And you could tell that in Carolina. Like there was a couple passes Hurts had the tight end and he would drop it. And you're just like, oh, man, this is not good. So, I mean, I could see, if he was pointing that out and be like, yo, we just got to catch a little bit better or just throw to A.J. Brown 24/7 this next game.
No.
Definitely not biased at all on this one.
I mean, it sounds
you throw
like
to Devontae Smith as well.
It sounds like he just didn't say it as clearly as he should. And it sounds like Hurts is a little more sensitive than he should be about it.
It wasn't Hurts that came out with it. It was a defensive guy, right? Because
Oh,
Graham's defense.
Yeah, Brandon Graham is the one that came out with the Hurts and Brown are not friends
I
anymore. Apparently,
but
yeah.
that's what I'm
See,
saying. Like the fact that he's mad about it though. Like it sounds like it was constructive criticism at the very most.
yeah. I think we'll see. For now, we'll say we think they'll be fine. Come next
Yeah, I
week,
don't.
could
I
be
think they're
different. I don't know.
professional enough not to let it interrupt what's
Yeah.
happening on the field.
Let's see. The Steelers this time did not lose to the Browns. This time they were at home and not in the snow. So not as
You could
fun of
see
a
the
game.
game.
Yeah. You could at least see the Steelers players, right? I know you and me talked about that. They would just disappear into the snow. We're like, I don't know where they are.
That was insane.
Yeah, snow games are fun. Let's see. Buccaneers beat up on the Raiders. Nothing too surprising there. Seahawks beat
That
up
team is a
on
mess. I'm
the
going to be
Raiders.
really
Oh yeah,
interested to see. Yeah, like I don't know what they're going to do to get it together for next season, but it's basically a full restructure at this point.
yeah. New coach, probably get Sanders at quarterback is my guess. That's why I think yours will go to the Giants because I think Giants will get second pick, and I think
but
Sanders will probably go first.
I think it's going to depend on how the playoffs end up and who takes the championship of who they're going to target.
Yeah.
the Tom Brady is apparently texted Sanders already and said he's coming to Vegas. So
I'll see the Tom Brady's like, hey,
Hey, just
As
so you
you
know,
are, I can do this.
hey, Vegas is going to be a great city in like 4 years. Okay, look at all these cool things they want to build. They're taking away the lameness that they were building, and they're putting
you
in all
know,
these cool, fun things.
if he's anything like his dad, though, I'm not sure having that much money and living in Vegas is a good idea for him.
As long as he's not a receiver playing for Derek Carr, he'll be fine. Because we've seen how that's turned out for like 5 receivers that play with Derek Carr. Not good.
How's Olave doing?
I don't know, where is Olave? Is he even with the Saints? Is he hurt? What's going on with him?
Yeah, he's got knocked out of a game because Derek Carr threw a pass like really bad, and he tried to catch it and got knocked out by a defensive player.
Hey, Ben DiNucci is a Saint now, so yay. They should just go back to Spencer Rattler. I mean, at least he is better than the other 2 options you got. You have no
I
other,
can't believe DiNucci's still hanging around the league.
right? Hey, good for him, right? You got,
Hey, get that money.
yeah. Well, you can't.
To be fair, he'll probably get a good ticket to the Super Bowl since it's going to be at the Superdome.
That's how they lured him in. They're like, hey, we actually don't have a lot of cap space, but we'll give you a suite at the
4
Super Bowl.
tickets.
Yeah, we'll just give you a prime suite here at the Super Bowl. And
Whoa.
Deal.
It's still DiNucci. He gets like mid-tier. He ain't getting no suite.
He gets the tickets. He's like, these are nosebleed. And they're like, do you want a job? Whoa.
Don't act
I'm
like
sorry.
you were ever going to be there any other way, Ben. All right? Just take the tickets.
Yeah. Whew. Let's see. Seahawks beat up on the Cardinals. Brendan's not too surprised. Call of Duty came out, and I think the Cardinals are 0-2 since then. So, kind of like
Well, it came
Brendan
out
said.
in October, and I don't know.
Okay, they're like 1 win since then.
They have fallen off a little bit, but
I don't think it's Kyler though. Kyler is still playing decently.
I don't know what's going on with them. They started out really strong. I thought they were going to be one of those like surprise of the seasons, and then they just kind of stopped.
Well, and I think they still get a chance to make the playoffs, but
They
they
did.
give up
Still-
100. Yeah, they gave up 134 yards to Zach Charbonnet this last week, which helped. South Park Cows. David was thrilled with that, so I was too because the Seahawks won. But hey, game of the week, highest scoring game of the year so far, 44-42 Rams. Not a primetime game, but it delivered. Should have been, yeah. Unfortunately, this week, I think there was some reason they couldn't flex out the Bears 49ers or not the Bears 49ers, the Chargers Chiefs, and then the Cowboys Bengals. Bengals because of the Simpsons tie-in, but I know Sunday night they couldn't flex out either. But hey, great game. Josh Allen, 3 passing, 3 rushing touchdowns, but the Rams
And still lost.
still lost. Like,
That's
what is
so
going on?
crazy.
Yeah. Well, what was that game with the Rams and Chiefs, right? There was like 54-51 or something.
Now tell me this. Do you think that the game was just that they were both so good, or do you think that the defenses just weren't up to snuff for either of the teams?
I mean, clearly early on, the Bills defense was not up to it because they were just getting killed.
They got pummeled.
They came back a little bit at the end, but they didn't look very good.
It's like they remembered that this game counted.
Yeah, they're like, oh, if we lose, the Chiefs get another step ahead of us in this playoff race.
Yeah. I mean, I guess the Chiefs did clinch.
Maybe secretly, like, the Chiefs sent the KKM down and, like, helped. Like, transferred the powers into the Rams.
Or Patrick Mahomes just made those refs' wallets a little heavier.
What if Patrick Mahomes put on a Matthew Stafford jersey and played that game? Hey, Matthew Stafford, though, good quarterback. I'm not throwing shade.
I actually like Matthew Stafford's good.
Let's see. Hey, Bears, new coach, same result. They get murdered by the 49ers. So, Thomas Brown, he had the opportunity to say, hey, I should lead this team. Not going to happen now. They will have a new coach for sure next year. And, hey, Caleb threw a couple passing touchdowns. So he's at least still – he hasn't given up. So, I mean, that's more he's already broken.
I still wouldn't play him.
I'm not playing him this week now. Maybe.
No, you should. You should. I feel real good about it.
David, now that you said that, let me go to my team.
You know what? You do that as a joke, he gets like 50 points.
You're just like, damn it.
I'm just like, fuck Chicago. God.
Yeah, and then let's see. Sunday night game, 19-17. At one point, it just seemed like neither team wanted to win in that fourth quarter. The kickers were still trying because it was pretty much just kickers trading shots. And
it got boring.
Yeah, it got boring towards the end. Kind of like all Chiefs games have been this year. They're winning with their defense and not really their offense. So and their defense isn't flashy. They don't have these players like, say, the Legion of Boom type of players that are, trash talking, kind of bringing that flair. They're just.
I just hope so much that they get out like first round of the playoffs.
Right.
I hope they go against somebody that just smacks them in the mouth.
The Bills.
Because they're acting like it's owed to them to win.
Whoever they had on the telecast as the Chiefs fan acted like, yeah. I was like, well, no wonder people don't like Chiefs fans if this is how you will act.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
I mean, Brendan, as someone that lives near Chiefs Kingdom, how do they act?
Not very good.
And I don't think they remember that it wasn't too long ago before nobody gave a shit about the Kansas City Chiefs.
Yeah, when they were 2-14.
They have 9 years of having the West be theirs, and now they think that they are all that because they're become arrogant.
Hey, I still remember Tyler Thigpen on the Chiefs. He did great. Great quarterback. Deep cut there. And then Monday night, we kind of talked about the actual telecast, but the Bengals beat the Cowboys, and the thing I read this morning just said, or was it? Yeah, this morning. I was like, what day is it? Last week threw me off because we did it on Wednesday. But it just says Cowboys block last second punt, lose game. David, is this what happened? Because I didn't watch that. You watched it, so tell me how.
It's 1,000%. Yeah, honestly, the Cowboys were playing better than I thought that they would. They were doing decent, but they lost the game for themselves. It was their own stupidity, like what happens all too often.
Yeah, and the Bengals, like, man, they got some issues to fix next year because they're not going to go anywhere this year. So
I think
got
Burrow's
some.
good. He's got the talent.
Yeah, Burrow's
They're
he's
lacking some
setting
other key
records.
pieces.
Yeah, I think they need a good, solid running back like a Joe Mixon. Someone that
It's funny
maybe
because
was on
that's
their
kind of
team.
what both teams needed.
Yeah.
So neither team has much of a run defense or a run game. So every time there was runs, it was just like, what's going to happen? It was either great runs or terrible. Like it was a funny game. Ultimately, since we already know the Cowboys aren't doing anything this year, it was better that they lost for draft picks and such. But they almost pulled it off, surprisingly. I thought, they could have had it if it wasn't for the blunder with the punt.
Well, and hey, that latest mock draft I saw had Gentry going to the Cowboys. So
I've heard that one for the last month.
See, the thing you got to know, though, about the Cowboys, if it's something that makes sense and it would help the team, it's not going to happen.
What?
So you got to start looking elsewhere.
Are you saying
defensive end to replace Micah Parsons when he becomes an Eagle?
That's not going to happen. Jerry Jones would never let him go. It's like Deadpool when he was telling Wolverine he's there till he's 90. Very similar.
Yeah, and that's probably going to happen there.
Yeah, if you sell jerseys like Parsons does, Jerry, he's got his claws in you. You ain't going nowhere.
I was trying to see if they had the playoff projector yet.
I think they have it on NFL.com, like if the season ended today or whatever.
No, there's usually one where you can maybe this is it? Where you can pick each one. Oh, here we go. All right, so I'm going to share my screen. Because we're going to predict who makes the playoffs from here. How do I share screen again, Brendan? You got to help me.
But yeah, the thing about Gentry, it would be great.
The present button that's on the bottom.
I've got a bad feeling, though, knowing the Cowboys and the way they just kind of almost panic draft. They're probably going to be dumb enough to do something like draft a running back first round. Which we need. We do need a good, solid running game, but not first round.
You don't want Gentry, though? I think he could do really good.
No, I would be fine with Gentry. I'm saying that because it makes a lot of sense.
They won't do it.
Okay. Exactly.
All right. So
and even though it's a solid, good move, it's not flashy.
I mean, he might break the college rushing.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's an awesome player, and we definitely need the help there. So if Jerry is smart, or rather, if the smart people around him convince him to go with what they want, it's possible.
Maybe.
That's a whole lot of fun, Keegan.
What?
So that was a whole lot of fun.
All right.
Who is Lydia and Tara? I see you. Yeah. I see you looking at their Instagram profiles there, buddy.
That was from when we did our what's it called?
Our special Keegan private time?
No. How do I go full screen so I can see it better? I don't know how my computer works.
Sounds like a personal problem.
All right, so let's pick who we got. Okay, hold on. My computer's freaking out. Yeah, people saw we're gonna do Wicked now. Now they're spoiled. All right, Rams, 49ers. Who you guys got?
I like the Rams in that game.
All right, Brendan.
I guess Rams. It really sucks because I have the 49ers defense this week.
Okay, so we gave it.
I will say I don't think it's going to be a high scoring affair. So you still might do okay even if they don't take out the win. I don't see it being a bunch of points put up on them. I think it'll be a close, like low to mid teens game.
Okay. Ravens or Giants? Anyone picking the Giants?
Oh, definitely.
He said it. He said it. You heard him. Caught in 4K. Clip it. Clip it.
Clip it right there. Jets Jaguars.
Honestly, I think the Jets are going to take it.
Yeah,
because Jags are a garbage bag right now, especially now that Lawrence is out. He was their shining, only bright spot really.
Let's see. Cowboys or Panthers?
Panthers.
David?
I hope the Panthers, but it'll probably be the Cowboys.
I don't know.
Because
they just kept along with the Chiefs and the Eagles.
I hope it's the Panthers. Again, I don't want the Cowboys to win another fucking game this whole season.
Hey, I gave them a tie. How about that?
That's stupid. Just put the Panthers.
All right.
I'm going to hope that I hope they can do it.
Commanders or Saints?
I'm rooting for the Saints so Philly can get the division.
All right. So, David,
I think Commanders are going to beat the Saints.
Yeah. All right. Bengals, Titans.
Bengals.
Chiefs or Browns?
Chiefs.
Whoever America loses either way, I don't care.
Okay, Dolphins or Texans? I would say Dolphins.
Dolphins. Texans have lost their way.
Yeah.
They're garbage.
They seemed like they were going to start out, have a good season, and then just fell off.
Let's see. Broncos, Colts.
Broncos.
Yeah.
Cardinals, Patriots.
Arizona.
Cardinals. Did you just say Minnesota?
No.
I said Arizona. I yawned as I said it, so.
Darnold just shows up.
He's like, I'm taking this one over. Ooh, here's a good one. Bills, Lions.
I'm going to say Lions.
Yeah, that's kind of where
I
I'm
want the
leaning
Bills
to.
to win, so then the Eagles could get the number
Wait,
one. Pick,
where are they playing?
They're in Detroit. And if that Bills defense does the same thing, the Detroit's not going to do what Rams did this last week.
I think it's going to be the Bills just because, I mean, look how well he played. I think he's going to be more. What the hell are you doing?
Spazzing out.
Give it to Buffalo.
I just think, I think they're going to play harder. I think they
Okay.
want/need it more.
Darn it.
All right. Bucks, Chargers.
The Bucks.
Yeah.
But it'll be close.
I think it will be close. I think it'll be.
And again, I don't think it's going to be a high scoring one. It'll be under 20.
Hey, Bronco fans are happy you guys just helped them get to the 6th seed. There. Oh, here we go. Steelers, Eagles, Brendan.
Eagles, duh. Fly,
Okay.
Philly, fly.
David.
Yeah, I mean, unless they have another meltdown, I think the Eagles are a little more put together. They've been playing with the team together cohesively a little longer than the Steelers. Steelers are still trying to kind of find their identity. So I'll give it to the Eagles for this round.
Okay. Seahawks, Packers in Seattle.
Seattle's found their groove back. I could see them winning.
I was more impressed with what Seattle did this last weekend than Green Bay.
So we're going to go Seattle with this one?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Green Bay should have won it. And especially since it's at Seattle, I think they got the edge.
Okay.
Just switch Green Bay
Packers. Yeah. Bears, Vikings. I mean, I'll say Bears.
Oh, the Bears. Yeah, no. Come on. They're going against Sam Darnold, dude.
Yeah. Ooh, look at our Monday night matchup. Falcons, Raiders. Is this really Monday night?
We get two Monday nights.
That game feels like a Monday, doesn't it?
Oh, is the Vikings Bears Monday night?
Yeah, one's
Uh,
the earlier Monday night, and one's another later
It's
Monday.
What's the Sunday? Oh yeah, because there's no bye week.
Sunday is Seahawks Packers.
Okay, that's the Sunday night. Okay. I'm gonna give it to the Falcons on that game.
Yeah.
Okay. Now on to week 16. Broncos Chargers on Thursday night.
Say Broncos.
See, I'd say Chargers.
I think Chargers.
See, it was the first one we needed a tiebreaker. Ooh, here we go. Garbage Fire versus the Swifties. Texans Chiefs.
I mean, at this point, they might be sitting their starters because
It's getting a little cold. I'll go with the Garbage Fire.
Brendan.
in hell is that where it's getting colder? Because
I saw a map today of like a cold sweep coming down from Canada and a hot front coming from the west, and Hayes, Kansas, is in the middle of this freaking alley that neither is touching.
that's so
Like,
funny.
yeah, 60 degrees on freaking December 15th makes total sense.
Yeah, why not?
All right, here we go. So, Ravens are at home versus the Steelers. Currently, we have the Steelers at 10-4 and the Ravens at 9-5.
And it's at home for the Ravens.
It's at home for the Ravens. Yeah.
I think I'm gonna go Ravens.
Yeah, I'm okay with
Brandon?
that.
Okay. I mean, this next one, it could be a toss-up. Patriots, Bills. I mean,
Yeah, Bills are going to be sitting their starters. They'll be fine.
yeah, that's what's happening. Maybe I don't. You know what? If you told me they're sitting all their starters, I still would probably give it to the Bills.
Yeah, I trust Mitch Trubisky better than whatever the Patriots have
Drake
going on.
May.
Yeah, I think that's insane. The New England, that has been. If you look at where they are now to 10 years ago, like you're gonna get vertigo, dude. That's crazy.
Yeah. Rams or Jets?
Rams.
Brendan. Eagles, Commanders.
I don't know if that's an 0-4. That's an easy one. Philly.
All right, David.
What do we have them both at right now? We have 9-5 and
12-2. And Eagles are still tied with Detroit for first seed. Currently.
I think it's gonna be Washington, just because I feel like they live to spoil things for everybody else in the division.
Yeah, and they do good at home against Philadelphia. So
plus, any division game, but definitely the NFC East. You have no idea what's going to happen anytime two teams from their play, regardless of injuries, back any of that. It's always a toss up. It can be the best season for one, worst season for the other, and the shitty team still wins.
Right.
It's just
speaking of shitty teams, how about Giants or Falcons?
That's going to be the Falcons.
All right, Cardinals or Panthers?
Cardinals.
See, I was going to say Panthers on that one.
You think so?
I think they could. They're playing better. These last few weeks, they've actually looked like a team that could beat a high school football team. So
I mean, that's big for them.
It's an improvement for sure. How about Bengals, Browns? I almost said Saints.
Bengals.
Colts, Titans.
Colts.
Oh, that's tough. I think Titans. Because Colts have no idea what they're doing.
I could see it. It feels like an upset. Bears, Lions. Bears.
Oh my.
All right, look at that. It gave the Vikings the number 1 seed. If I give it to the Bears. All right, Vikings, Seahawks.
Vikings.
Yeah.
Man, the Vikings are 5th seed and they are 13-2.
That puts LA ahead of the Seahawks for the division.
Damn it, what did we do? Jaguars, Raiders.
Meteor hits the stadium and both teams lose.
Okay, but
And America wins.
are you saying tie?
No.
Sure, tie.
I think Raiders are going to pull it off. In
Burn.
what may be their last win of the season.
They just go like on a winning streak. End up getting like the 5th pick or something.
Insane.
All right, we'll give it to the Raiders. 49ers, Dolphins.
I'm going to go Dolphins.
I don't
Brendan.
know. 49ers have glimpses of them being a good team again, but then
You know, that's what's crazy. They have so much talent. Like, the players on that team are insane. But for some reason, it just does not work out for them.
we can
Yeah,
go Dolphins.
They're cursed. Bucks, Cowboys. This feels like a Cowboys win here.
Is that another Monday night game?
Sunday night.
That's the
It's
Sunday
in
night game?
Dallas.
Guessing. Brennan, is this a Sunday night or a Monday night?
I'd guess Sunday night.
All right, we gave it to the Buccaneers, which puts the Falcons in.
No, you
Or-
didn't. You gave it to the Cowboys.
That's what I meant, but it put the Falcons in. Oh, poor Falcons.
Yeah, that's Sunday night.
You know what? Just humor me here. Can you go back to this coming up week and give that game to the Cowboys?
They're not making the playoffs, so it doesn't matter.
I don't want them to. That would be the worst thing ever. I just want to see, though, because that would be the most Cowboy thing in the world for them to just fuck up everything.
Just make the playoffs. Saints, Packers.
Packers.
Yeah.
That's another fun Monday night game. All right.
That'll actually be like a game worth watching.
Who knows who's playing quarterback though? It should be Spencer Rattler, but you know.
I heard
might
they're
be
going to
Ben
throw a
DiNucci.
ball into the crowd, and whoever catches it gets the nod.
I thought that's how they chose their receivers.
Yeah, it worked so well that they're.
Oh, David, here we go. The game you might have been waiting for. Pittsburgh is at home hosting Kansas City.
Why am I waiting for that game?
This is Christmas Day.
It's Christmas Day. That means
Then you know what? Let's hope that the Steelers give us all a great present and win.
we'll give it to the Steelers. That's why I thought you were going to be all excited because you're going to be like, look, they're going to lose.
I fucking hope they do.
Look how stacked the NFC is right now versus the AFC. Like, it's sad. There's like 3 or 4 teams above 10 wins, and there's only 2 teams over here below. All right, Baltimore, Houston.
The other Christmas game.
Ravens.
Ravens.
Yeah, I think that's pretty easy.
How are you going to choose this game?
Tie.
Seahawks.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah, it'll probably be Seattle. Honestly, no. This is the one Seattle will lose, so they don't get the playoffs. That's how it's going to go.
They don't even have a coach for the Bears.
Right. But that's what will happen. Cardinals, Rams. I kind of want to say Cardinals on this one.
Yeah,
I
let's see.
think Cardinals. They'll bounce back. Chargers.
Chargers over yeah, that makes sense. Bengals, Broncos.
Denver.
I want to say Denver, but Bengals do. I mean, I don't know if they.
It's going to depend what the Bengals are at this point. Like, are they still playing for anything?
Let's see where they are.
I don't think they're playing for anything now.
I don't know. What have we given them?
They're at 7-8 currently.
So if we give it to them, they'd be 8-8.
Yeah, they'd be 1 game behind Denver.
You know what? They would. I'm going to say Bengals.
Yeah, I'll go with that. Captain Kirk versus Jaden Daniels.
I think Daniel shoots the captain down.
Brendan.
Yeah, I'm okay with that.
Oh, Buccaneers are back in it. Let's see, Colts or Giants?
Colts.
Colts. Giants want the better draft pick.
I don't know why the Giants are even playing games still this season. Like, can they just forfeit? Is that?
So I have a question because they were talking about this a couple days ago. If Saquon Barkley can break that record, do you play him week 18?
I
If
would.
he can-
I mean, for Philadelphia, they probably will because they're going to still be in the race for that first overall spot.
well, a lot
Also,
of
I would also though leave it up to him a little bit. Like, do you want to go for the record, or do you know?
here's where, because a lot of people were like, no, you bench your starters, you'll be in the playoffs, blah blah blah. But then someone is like, really, you're going to bench Saquon Barkley when he has a chance to beat the rushing record against his former team?
Well, ask Indianapolis how benching their starters worked every year when they were in a number 1 seed.
I mean, okay, let's be honest here, Brendan. I'm sure you'll disagree, but the Eagles aren't winning the Super Bowl. They're not making it to the Super Bowl this year. So if I was Barkley, I'd want the personal glory. I'd go for it.
Yeah, I'd go for it.
Oh, I'd go for it.
Buffalo Jets.
Buffalo.
Oh, here we go. Another toss-up. Titans, Jaguars.
Tie.
I think Titans because Lawrence is still going to be out.
Oh, true. All right. Panthers, Buccaneers. Panthers? Yeah, let's do it. Let's give it.
Yeah, the Bucs are still sad that they lost to the Cowboys the week before. So
Look at that. It brought the Falcons back in at 8-8, man.
that's so funny.
Carolina's at 4-12. They can't make the playoffs. They're eliminated. Vikings, Packers. Vikings are at
Vikings.
home. Brendan.
I kind of want to lean towards Green Bay.
I'll go Green Bay. Raiders, Saints.
Divisional game. You know, I think Derek Carr purposely got hurt. So then
He didn't have to play the Raiders.
yeah, so he wouldn't become the first quarterback to lose to all 32 teams.
All right, so are we saying the Raiders beat the Saints?
Sure.
I think Saints win.
Okay. Cowboys, Eagles. You know what?
Cowboys. Yep, they're going to take it.
We're going to give that mythical tie right there.
Okay.
Wait, where are the Cowboys? Let's see if
They're eliminated. They're done.
Yeah, even if we gave them a winning out, they couldn't make it. We're going to give them the tie, though. How about Dolphins, Browns?
Browns.
I think Dolphins.
Yeah, I was going to say Browns. Why did you say
Unless
Browns?
Tua's gotten another concussion by this point.
Whoa, look at that. We dropped Denver out of the playoffs. Miami is in. Lions, 49ers.
Lions.
Sadly.
Unfortunately.
Okay, so then that brings us week 18.
Are they really 14-1?
14 and 2.
14-2.
Okay, I was like,
See, this is going to be the weird one because there's going to be a lot of sitting.
Yeah. All right, so
that game.
I'm going to say Titans.
Hey, you know what? Just for
Do
the
they
sake
have
of
the division at this point?
just to make it interesting, go back to the 17 and give the Dallas game to the Eagles because that puts them still up for getting that first seed potentially.
Okay. Let's go Titans here.
Yeah.
Okay, I was going to say, does Houston already have the division at this point?
No. I think if the Colts win, they're in.
Okay.
Panthers or Falcons. I would say Panthers.
I think Falcons.
Really?
Panthers.
Yeah.
I mean, the Falcons need it more, so we could say them.
Buccaneers or Saints?
Let's see who has that tiebreaker.
Falcons. Falcons would get in. Rams or Seahawks?
I think that's going to be for the division, isn't it?
I believe so.
I'm gonna have to give it to the Seahawks, I think.
All right. Seahawks win the division.
And we're
Bills
very
or
proud.
yeah, Bills or Patriots?
Bills.
Yeah.
Yeah. Jets or Dolphins?
Dolphins.
That's Aaron Rodgers' swan song, man.
Just till he goes to the Vikings next year.
Hold
Ravens
on.
or
Pause.
Browns?
Would you get Aaron Rodgers and play him over Sam Darnold?
I don't think they want to sign Sam
If you
Darnold.
had to choose right now between the two, who do you go with?
And I'm Kevin O'Connell on the Vikings, I would stay with who I got. But I think they would have already signed him, and there's already people saying don't sign him, let him go to free agency. I think he'll be a starter next year, but I don't think it's for Minnesota. But JJ McCarthy just had a second surgery, so I think they're going to bring in someone, and it almost is prophetic at this point.
Well,
Bring
they
in
already
Rodgers.
picked up Daniels, so that's who they're going to bring in for next year.
Daniel Jones? No, I think they just brought him in case something went wrong.
I can't believe anybody picked up Daniel.
I can't either.
I mean, I think we could have said that about Sam Darnold at one point too. You never know.
But he's actually had at least one good game.
Hey, Daniel Jones had that really good run and then tripped himself and fell down.
Turf Monster got him.
Let's see. Ravens or Browns? Anyone taking the Browns?
No.
Okay. Bengals or Steelers?
This is for the division.
You know what? I'm going to go Bengals.
Let's do it.
Just because that would be really funny. But realistically, if it's going for the division, it's probably going to be Steelers. Like, I mean, do Bengals even get in the playoffs if they win that game?
No, because
we
gave it to Miami. We gave one more win to Miami because Cincinnati's 9-8.
Yeah, no. Steelers take it. They've got something to actually go for.
And hey, they're better than Houston, who's currently our 4th seed right now. So poor Cincinnati. Talking about that 4th seed, Colts or Jaguars?
Do the Colts.
Yeah.
Do it. Oh, I didn't even get them in. I thought for sure Indianapolis was going to get in.
What they put in Indianapolis at?
8 and 9. Same as Houston. Chiefs or Broncos?
Just see what happens if you do Broncos.
Chiefs have nothing to play for. They have already locked up the 1 seed.
Nope.
Whoa.
Because the Bills beat them. Yeah. So they have the ultimate tiebreaker over
them. So who do we say?
I think Broncos, maybe.
Okay. We'll keep it that way. Chargers or Raiders?
Let's say the Raiders. I just want to see. I like that because I like when division people play in the playoffs.
How about Cowboys, Commanders?
Commanders.
I hope it's the Commanders.
We're going to say Cowboys. Oh, look at that. Commanders would play the Eagles just like Brendan wanted. Giants, Eagles. What if we
just for shits and giggles? Let's see what happens. Yeah,
nothing.
It didn't do anything. Let's go Eagles.
Vikings or Lions?
Vikings. It didn't change it.
It didn't change it. Wow. Okay. Oh. Packers or Bears?
So go back and give that game to the Eagles.
It is on the Eagles.
Oh, I thought it was a tie.
No, I said give it. I said give it to the Eagles.
I know. I can't see the record, so then
14-3. There's
3 teams at 14-3.
Yeah, one of them's the 5th seed.
Could you imagine being a 5th seed at 14-3?
Yeah, you have the best record.
I think the South needs to be realigned because winning the South and being 8-9 when you have a 14-3 5th seed is ridiculous.
Yeah, either of these teams bad. I'm gonna give it to the Bears.
Over who? Over Green Bay?
The Packers, yeah.
Yeah.
And then we'll give it to Cardinals. All right, so there's our playoffs, our projected playoffs. Let's see who we gave the first overall pick to. We gave it to the Giants.
I mean, that's probably pretty accurate.
Yeah, we gave the Giants 2-15, Cleveland 3-14, New England 3-14, Jacksonville 3-14.
What's the
Carolina, what?
What's the Raiders at?
4-13. So Jets, Raiders, Carolina, 4-13. Let's see.
God, there's a lot of bad
Chicago,
teams here.
5-12. Tennessee and New Orleans at 6-11. No 7-1 teams. And then we get 1-8-1 team, Dallas. Oh, Indianapolis also an 8-1 team. Tampa Bay is a 9-1 team, doesn't make the playoffs, as well as Los Angeles Rams. And Cincinnati Bengals, 9 wins, don't make the playoffs. And then we got the Broncos at 10-7, not making the playoffs. The Cardinals at 10-7, not making the playoffs. Man, could you imagine that? And then you look at those, like the Falcons and the Texans. Terrible.
Maybe they should do the 1 through 8 play style, just so then Minnesota gets, because this is not the. It always happens where the 5th seed in the NFC is way better than one of the other division winners, and it's just ridiculous.
I was hoping this year was going to be one of the first years ever where we see the entire division make the playoffs. It would have been awesome.
That'd be so crazy.
Yeah. Just like, our whole division made it.
The way it's set up, though, it's almost impossible for a whole division to get in.
No,
Yeah.
it could.
It could. It's just very unlikely.
Yeah. Like this year, if the Bears had been good, I think this was the best chance we've had. Especially with how good the other 3 have been, but
There's a shot.
yeah. But yeah. All right, so we talked about that. We gave you our predictions for the next 4 weeks. We'll be back though.
Yeah, tell us what we got wrong, what we got right.
Yeah, is Carolina going to win out? But we got to talk college playoffs. David, do you want to let us know our playoff matchups?
Yeah, I got to pull it up. Hold on. All right. Okay, so we got 4 big games to start us off. It is going to be Clemson versus Texas. Then we got Tennessee versus Ohio State. SMU versus Penn State. Indiana going against Notre Dame. I guess Notre Dame. Sorry. Can't use the French pronunciation.
Well, we're going to get us kicked out of Indiana there. It's the Battle of Indiana, that one.
Yes, that's right. You really gotta dig deep for that one. And then let's see.
They are?
Yeah, Notre Dame's they're northern Indiana, in the bad part of Indiana.
And then, of course, after that, the second round, we do already have 4 teams that are standing by. They get the bye week before we go into the quarterfinals. And that is going to be Arizona State, who is going to play whoever wins between Texas and Clemson. So we're probably looking at a Texas-Arizona State game, which should be okay. Oregon is going to be there for whoever wins Ohio State, Tennessee. Tennessee's a great state, love it and everything, but I do think Ohio State is going to win that one. So Oregon versus Ohio State is probably going to be a very good game. I think that'll be.
I was hoping Tennessee.
I hope Tennessee. I like Tennessee more, but Ohio's had a good year. I'm surprised they're as low as they are. Then we got Boise State at number 3, which is kind of a surprise, and they're going to be playing against Penn State or SMU. I don't know who's going to win that game, but I think whoever wins that is going to take it against Boise. Just me personally. I think those are 2 better teams personally. And then, of course, Georgia sitting at number 2, and they are going to play against Notre Dame or Indiana. Probably going to be Notre Dame is who I would pick over Indiana, I think.
See, I was going to lean Indiana, even though it's at Notre Dame.
I mean, hey, they've been a surprise this year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good underdog story if they made it all the way to the championship. Even if they don't win it, just the fact that they're in the playoffs, good for Indiana. They've got a lot to build on.
Somebody had a Texas Georgia championship.
No, honestly, I think that's what it's going to be. Because also, you can't write a script more storybook than that, with them coming against each other for the third time in a row.
So you don't think Oregon makes it?
No.
I
mean,
don't know.
obviously they'd have to meet Texas in the Goodyear Cotton Bowl. It looks like, but
Yeah.
That if it comes down to that, I think whatever game happens there, like I think Texas Oregon would end up being a more entertaining game than Texas Georgia.
Well, we'll see how far Georgia goes with Carson Beck being out.
Yes, that's going to hurt them a lot. And I wouldn't be surprised if from that side of the bracket we get Notre Dame. They've been a strong team this year.
I mean, I think Penn State. I really don't see SMU beating Penn State.
I don't either, but if they can get past Penn State, I have no idea how far they can go.
You think Penn State's better than Boise? I don't know.
I
It
don't
would
know.
be
I've really
close.
been watching them.
Yeah, it'd be a very close game, but it's not one of those games that if Penn State won, I'd be like, oh, that's impossible. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I could still believe it either way. I would lean towards Boise, but I wouldn't count Penn State out. I'd be like, they do have a chance. It's not going to be one of those games you're going into where it's like, I already know who's going to win.
So you're saying, hypothetically, the winner of the Indiana Notre Dame game could make the championship?
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Because, I mean, I know they've beaten my team twice. They've beaten Texas twice. I still just don't think Georgia's that strong of a team, especially with their starting quarterback gone.
Yeah.
Like, they're a good team. They're a solid team, and they will continue to be.
Honestly, Texas shot themselves in the foot in that game.
Yeah, Texas, it wasn't so much that Georgia won that game. Texas lost that game.
Yeah, Texas, yeah.
And I think a lot of it has to do with Quinn still recovering from his injury.
I don't think it was Quinn's fault. It was that they couldn't stop committing.
I mean, they missed 2 field goals.
Well, that too, but they couldn't stop committing penalties.
No, and I mean,
I
am never somebody that wants to blame the referee crew, but I do agree with Sark that it would be nice if Georgia got 1 or 2 of those holding penalties that they should have.
Well, I'm not necessarily blaming the refs. I'm just saying that Texas shot themselves because they kept committing penalties.
Yeah, they need to be way more disciplined going into things. I don't know if they were just jittery playing for the SEC championship or whatever it was. They got to lock it down. And hopefully these 3 games before that, if they can manage the wins, they'll be primed and ready to go. And at least the championship is back in Atlanta where they've already played now. They've been in the, Mercedes-Benz, I think it is, because it's where the Falcons play. Yeah, they've been there. It would be, they got a little familiarity with the territory, so maybe that'll help. I do think if Texas makes it to the championship, their biggest challenge is going to be Oregon.
Yeah, because I don't know much about Arizona State.
I mean, I hate to say it, I don't think that's much of a challenge for Texas.
Well, in Clemson, they knocked Alabama out.
Oh,
because I know
Clemson did have a good game though.
Well, Clemson's the 5th champion, the conference champion, so they got the 12th seed.
Yeah, they had to get it. And so Alabama, who a lot of people are like, why did you put them in? And we all knew why.
Is Clemson the champion?
Alabama. Yeah.
Yeah. They won the ACC.
They beat SMU.
Right, but I think what was their record?
10-2, I think.
See, it's crazy to me. I think if they beat SMU, they should have been above SMU.
Right. If you want to keep SMU in,
still keep SMU in, that's fine. I get that. But I feel like it shouldn't be. They should be flipped. Yeah.
Yeah. Put Clemson versus Penn.
Conference champion, the 5th seed instead of the 12th seed.
Yeah, that's a little weird to me. I think that the champion should have been the top 5, whatever, and then filter out to whoever else.
Yeah. Well, what area is it going to next year? How many teams?
14. So next year, because it'd be 2 buys, the first and second seeds get them, or first tier and the second tier. I do think Alabama would have been in if it was 14 this year.
Yeah, because Alabama and I think Miami were the first 2 teams out.
Yeah. Which Miami doesn't deserve to be there. That's fine. Honestly, Alabama doesn't either.
I was about to say they're both like 9
Yeah.
and 3 or something. So
I think the 12 teams that should be there are there. I have no complaints personally about who made it in. I think that it was very fair. It was about what you can expect. I guess maybe who is it? The Gamecocks?
Oh, South Carolina.
yeah.
That would be my next choice for who should get in that missed it.
Supposedly Bill Belichick hired as the North Carolina head coach.
I heard that. Yeah.
Is that what just got?
That's the rumor. Supposedly he gave them a book that was like 400 pages about how he wants to run the program and how to do hiring and like all of this stuff.
Yeah.
But it looks like he's going to be
payroll and
yep,
personnel that he wants to hire, and yep.
He gave him a whole huge dictionary of a playbook for everything, and it looks like he's going to be a Tar Heel. Which makes me wonder, A, how much are they paying him to do it? And B, what NFL teams missed out?
Yeah. You would think, Brady might want him back in the Raiders, to do that.
From what I understand, he and Brady do not get along.
You think so?
And that was part of why Brady left and became a Buck.
Yeah.
That it was like an ultimatum from one side. They're like, we can't both be here.
Well, I know Bill wanted to move on a few years before that.
I think it's one of those things where I think they respect each other and that they can work together, but they just don't like each other. So I think it was like, all right, I appreciate what you've done for me. We need to go separate ways. Because that was the only reason Tom stayed in instead of retiring back then. He wanted to go to another team as kind of a fuck you to Bill Belichick to say, hey, I can still make it happen without you being a factor. And he did. That's when he should have stopped. That last like farewell tour year, that didn't have to happen. He should have gone out on top.
Well, and then Tennessee, Ohio State, that should be a pretty good one, I would think.
Again, I hope Ohio State loses. I would love to see Tennessee do it. But whoever plays Oregon from that's going to be a good game too.
Yeah. Yeah, so I think we're in for a good batch of games. Unfortunately, we have to wait one more weekend before any of these happen.
Give them all that rest.
Yeah. When is the championship? 1:20.
Yeah, it's almost Super Bowl time.
Yeah.
Because I think they get like another week or two off before the championship. Something like that.
Yeah, they get 10 days.
Because I know New Year's is
10 and
traditionally
11
big
days.
like bowl season day. There's a bunch of bowls like New Year's Day and right around there.
Yeah, well, so quarterfinals, which would be the Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl, Rose Bowl, Fiesta Bowl, Sugar Bowl, all take place on either 12/31 or 1/1. So,
honestly, if UT makes it into the Cotton Bowl, I might try to go to that.
Where's the Cotton Bowl going to be at?
It's always in Dallas. That's where the Cotton Bowl is. Kind of like the Rose Bowl is always there in California and everything.
Yeah, in Pasadena.
Actually, I don't know. No, because it should. I don't know if it's set or if it's higher seed gets home field advantage. I'm not positive. I think they have to play those bowls at that place though, like Rose Bowl, Sugar Bowl, Cotton Bowl. I think it has to be at those stadiums. So I think the home field advantage is only for like the first 2 rounds.
Yeah, it says it's location AT&T Stadium in Arlington.
Which is funny because the actual Cotton Bowl is not. That's not the Cotton Bowl. There is an actual stadium that is the Cotton Bowl. That's where they play the Texas-Oklahoma game every year at the State Fair in Dallas.
Okay.
But they just, I guess Jerry wanted the money, so they moved it there.
Well, let's see. Where's the?
I mean, it's a nicer stadium. I'll give them that. But
I'm trying to figure out where it is this year.
Is the national championship in Atlanta?
Yeah, national championship. That's because it's not a specific bowl name, so it doesn't have to be, I think, tied to a certain place.
So they
Yeah,
get
'cause-
2 games.
What?
So Atlanta gets 2, because isn't the Peach theirs, and then you get the national championship as well?
Yeah, I think the I think that one rotates among
Okay.
the like bowls. Like one
Gotcha.
gets chosen as you get to be this or something like that. Yeah, the Chick-fil-A bowl, it's got to be Atlanta.
Right. Then that's why I
Now,
was.
I don't know
confused.
though. They
They
might
got
not
2,
play.
but
I don't know if they played at the NFL stadium though, or if that's at the Georgia actual like stadium.
I thought it was at the call or at the Falcons home.
It
Which
might
one,
be.
the-
Do they both play there? Like, is that Georgia's normal stadium, or do they have a
Yeah,
separate
Chick-fil-A
college stadium?
is in Mercedes, it says.
Right? But Georgia in general, do they play all their games there?
Oh, I don't
Like,
know.
do they share the stadium? Do you know?
I have no
Uh,
clue.
yeah, see, the Rose Bowl obviously is in Pasadena.
No, they have a
Where's-
stadium. It's called Sanford Stadium, apparently, and that's in Athens. So I guess just their big games are at the stadium or at the Mercedes.
Fiesta Bowl is in the Cardinal Stadium.
Honestly, Atlanta might also be getting the championship because I know that's where the NCAA Hall of Fame is and everything too.
Yeah.
That's like their headquarters city. So I don't know if it's just always there or that's at least why they're getting like this first big one from a playoff system, maybe. I don't know. Some college decisions never make sense to me. They're all over the place.
I mean, that's how the college playoffs worked for a long time. We're like, yep. I guess they did make sense. We knew who they were going to put in, and we were just not happy about who they always put in.
Yeah, because it was like, okay, we got together and decided we want to see these teams.
Yeah, it's the same 4 teams as always.
Can you
is.
explain why? No, this is who we're going with.
This one team has 4 losses, and you left out a bunch of 0 and 1 loss teams. You know,
Hey, don't
reason.
worry about it. Just enjoy the game. Go football.
Yeah. So there's kind of a look. We'll do more of a prediction next week, obviously with the games kicking off next weekend. Not this weekend, but weekend after. David, any other kind of like pop culture news that kicked off this week? I know Captain America is going back for another round of reshoots.
Hold on. Chris
Uh-oh.
Evans is.
Oh,
It is
yeah.
not confirmed that he's going to be Captain America.
He's going to be in.
We don't know if it'll be another Johnny Storm or if it's going to be perhaps a Captain America variant. It
Or a
doesn't
Magneto.
necessarily doesn't mean it's going to be our Steve Rogers. So, but another thing, big news, everybody rejoice. The Sony Spider-Man verse is over. Craven is the last one. And then we should never have to see another Spider-Man movie without Spider-Man.
But they're not giving the rights away, so that means we will be getting a Sony
I
Spider-Man.
think that's the next step. I think they're just going to sell it. They're just going to make a lot
You
of money.
think so?
Yeah. Or make some kind of deal where they just get a percentage going forward.
Yeah.
And they
Kind of
just
like
can't-
the whole deal.
They're not involved. They're just here, take it. But
Yeah.
we want 20% of everything, something like
Still
that.
put our name on it, but we're not going to be in part of any of it.
They just give us the money. We obviously can't make these movies.
Well, because isn't Universal own the Hulk?
It's a weird thing, but I know Hulk they don't have any they don't make anything and they can't say he can't be used. He just can't have a solo movie.
Yeah. It's interesting. That's also why Universal has a bunch of rides that are Marvel because they own the rights, but they can't update it unless they get the okay from Marvel.
Correct. They own the theme park rights.
Yeah.
So anything that is displayed in the theme park at Islands of Adventure can't be in any other theme park, which is why Disney World has a Guardians of the Galaxy ride. Because the Guardians were not popular at that time. So they are nowhere in Universal.
And
So we're
luckily
never
for them,
getting-
now they're popular.
What was that, Brendan?
So we're never going to get like a Hulk Planet movie or anything because he can't.
We could still get a Planet Hulk. Again, it just can't be a Hulk solo. So they could easily put that in with something. Like I think that's why we're getting the Leader and Red Hulk and everything in this Captain America 4 movie. It's a way to kind of bring those in. And as far as the theme park, like Keegan had said, they can't update or change any of it without Disney saying, "Yeah, do it," and Disney's not going to do that. So they're basically stuck with rides that are getting older and older and older until Disney basically forces them to retheme. And from what I understand, talks have already been in place for a while of what they're going to retheme everything to. So I think within the next decade, we're going to have the Marvel rides back with Disney. And I fully expect that will be the next theme park at Walt Disney World. The 5th park is going to be a Marvel park, I bet.
It makes sense.
Yeah, it's a big enough property that they could justify it. It's timeless enough that it's not going to lose. People are going to love Spider-Man, Captain America, all that for
forever.
Centuries.
Yeah. Well, so I know we've kind of talked about it. Las Vegas is getting like a mini Universal theme park.
No, they're not. They're getting it's Halloween.
It's an experience. Yeah.
Yeah, it's specifically the Halloween Horror Nights and takes from those characters and everything that they're their own properties.
But they're also going to be bringing in a film studio. They're going to put right there. They're going to have a back lot, kind of like you see in California. Now I just saw Disney wants to make a little like Disney type attraction thing in Vegas. So I'm like, could 10, 15
cool.
years down the year, have Las Vegas, Disneyland, Las Vegas, Universal?
I don't think there's enough room there. And I don't think the weather is nice enough to have a year-round theme park. So I think we'll have experiences like they're doing. I don't think they're ever going to do a full-fledged park from either camp, unfortunately. It'd be cool, but I think the desert is too unforgiving for that.
Right.
Like it's already rough in Orlando in some parts of the year.
With the hurricanes, yeah.
Yeah. So I would love it. It'd be really cool. Maybe I do think there's a possibility if it was more of a maybe like an indoor thing, if they could, a huge, massive indoor theme park. But I do believe Mattel is already building a theme park in Vegas that's primarily indoors with like a Hot Wheels roller coaster, a Barbie land, like all this stuff. I think maybe if that does really, really well, they'll think about it. But I also don't think that Vegas is necessarily the kind of crowd for a full-fledged theme park. I don't think it's a family destination the way that other places are.
I think they're changing it, though.
They're trying to.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's ever going to become nearly as family-friendly as the other tourist spots are right now. And I think that's why Universal was smart to do the Halloween Horror Nights there, because that is aimed very much at the older crowd. That's going to be, older teenagers and up, and they're going to love it. And that's something you can buy a beer, go into a haunted house, that kind of stuff. I think that's going to be more of what we see in Vegas. I think it's going to continue to evolve into an adult playground. I think it'll get away from the just gambling and sex related stuff. And it will become more of these like high-end experiences and such. And there will be some things for kids to do because they know some people aren't going to travel without kids. So there will be some things there for families to still have a good time. But I don't think that's going to be their focus there. I think that's going to be left to the places that are already established for it. And this is going to cater more towards that like 20s, 30s, 40s crowd. Because that's who's got the money.
Yeah. Well, and that's why like Circus hasn't gone away, because they know that's a big kid attraction on the
Exactly.
strip.
Yeah. But that's also why places are doing like the like jump off the big tower type thing, the roller coasters. Like it's definitely aimed towards an older crowd with some things that kids could enjoy if you have to bring them. But nobody wants to bring a kid to Las Vegas.
No. Well, and I think with Vegas, like you said, they're trying to branch out because gambling's becoming more and more
everywhere.
Everywhere. So it's not just solely Las Vegas, like or solely like Breckenridge here in Colorado. It's everywhere. And so they're kind of going back to their like 90s roots where they're like, let's have some of these themed attractions, let's have more rides. Because
I think that's why they're so heavy on bringing in the sports teams.
Yeah. What's that new stadium with Las Vegas tallest building right next to it? Looks really nice.
Exactly.
If that goes through.
I think it's a smart idea. But I do think it's going to continue to skew to the older age and not family-friendly kids, like the Universal Kids Park that they're building in Texas, like in the Frisco area, never going to be in Vegas.
Yeah.
We're never going to see a Peppa Pig theme park crop up in Vegas. It's just not going to happen.
Hey, it's
no Bluey in Vegas.
No, hold on. Bluey gets down. He'll probably be there.
Yeah, I was gonna say there's a big fan base of Bluey with adults,
which
That's
is so
scary.
Weird. I mean, I'll take it over My Little Pony, I guess.
Yeah.
Oh, that's true.
You know
I
what
know.
else they could branch out? They could have like haunted attractions in Vegas, David. All these
Oh man,
different
almost like a haunted museum. That'd be cool.
that cost $40 some to get in.
No way would that be a ripoff. Let's do it.
Oh, speaking of attractions, so we haven't really touched upon it on the channel, but the Conjuring House drama has been going on, and I guess the police are actively like staking out the Conjuring House, making sure they don't accept people in, and that poor lady got like a huge fine. It's not even the owner; like she's staying away. It's big
No, she's
drama.
an employee.
Yeah,
Hmm.
it's terrible. Terrible. So if you're watching, don't spend your money on the Conjuring House. You won't get it back. It says no refunds on the website.
To bring it back to sports real quick.
Oh, what's going on? What's going on?
You guys know about the controversy with the fact that Bill Belichick's dating like a 20-year-old, like she's like 24
Yeah.
or something, right? Okay. Somebody wrote this. I just think it's hilarious. It's when asked about the challenge of coaching a college team like UNC after years of coaching pros, Bill Belichick replied, "I know these kids. I used to be a kid. I raised kids. Now I'm dating kids. I might as well teach kids football too."
Oh, to bring it back to pop culture, I just had the thought, what if they bring back Chris Evans to be old Chris Evans the entire movie?
I think it'd be a waste of Chris Evans.
I think we need a movie of what Chris Evans did when he returned to Peggy and returned the Infinity Stones.
I think we need an Aunt May TV series.
I'd be okay with that.
No, don't be okay with that. Don't give Sony more ideas.
They wanted to do it. They wanted an Aunt May movie.
Oh man, their whole like Aunt May or their whole universe of movies they wanted to do. It's like, why? Some of them you're like, okay, I get it, but then you're like, we wanted like a Aunt May like secret spy movie, and it's like, where was she ever like James Bond?
They
Granted,
can
I
keep making Spider-Verse movies and then get them out.
oh man, yeah. So that's this week. Not a whole lot. We'll be back. We're doing Wicked, right? At some point next Monday.
I don't know.
It's not
We're
live.
doing our Christmas movies Saturday.
Yeah, we do have to do Christmas movies Saturday. I remembered that today.
We started watching them Sunday night.
Brendan's going to be the most in-depth watcher of Christmas movies for us.
I can't
Did
find
he-
Charlie Brown, so
I think I'm pretty much going off of already of seeing them, just what I remember.
Yeah, there's like one or two I might touch upon again, but a lot of them we picked. I'm like, okay, I remember them. enough.
I'm watching like
never
I
watched
think I'm like halfway through watching Love Actually again. Just I threw it on just for fun, but
I was gonna say I've never seen that one, so I'll actually have to watch that.
so good.
Yeah, see, we'll talk about that. So those are things you can keep an eye out. We'll have Wicked. We'll have Christmas movies. We might have a Young Guns deep dive. I have some other stuff planned. I don't know. I'm tired. It's almost the end of the year. We can start.
Or we may
fresh.
never have another thing again. This could be it. This could be the end.
We could be hit by meteorites tonight. Float
KK
into
end us
space.
all.
Yeah, the Kansas Kite Monster will have seen Brendan not responding to the comments and swoop in and take.
How do you
him
know
away.
I'm not being paid by him to keep my mouth shut?
I'm gonna start that rumor on there.
Maybe
be
that's
like-
how I can afford my new house.
Just be like, yo, Brendan, did the kite pay you off? Why you not talk about him? You were the one that
And then you get blocked by Brendan.
just like, yo, you're out of here. But David, what do you got coming up on the channel? Anything the viewers need to keep their eyes out for?
Yeah, we got something that's coming out. I think either this weekend or early next week. That is going to be very, very fun. Anybody who is a fan of kind of some nostalgic old school type stuff is going to love it. And then we're going to dive right into our Christmas episodes. And I want to say we have 3 this year. So those will be coming out probably that week or two before Christmas.
Very cool.
Over
Brendan,
on Abnormal Voyages. Just for those who don't know the name yet.
Yeah, and if you're watching and you've seen David in 23 episodes and you haven't gone over, what are you doing? What are you doing? Brennan, anything you're doing, or you said shows are pretty much done for the year, craft shows?
Yeah, we have one more this coming up week. We started selling my photography at them. So that was pretty good last weekend. But otherwise, it's just work on the house and work.
Well, hey, say one of the viewers is listening, they want to go buy some crafts and photos. Where can they find you, Brendan?
It'll be at the Hayes Mall.
At his
Saturday.
new house. He already said that. Jeez.
Yeah, duh. Come find my new house.
You just go to the Hayes Mall and there's a house inside.
Somebody just shows up at your house like 3 a.m. tonight. I'm here for crafts.
You're for crafts.
You were just like, it was a joke. It was a joke.
But I need crafts.
Brendan's like, this is what we do. We've known each other since we were young. We just joke back and forth. You weren't supposed to take it serious. Okay, but seriously, Hayes Mall, what time?
What time? 10 to 5.
10 to 5, guys. So if you're around the area of Hayes, Kansas, and want to go to the Hayes Mall, you can meet Brendan. He'll sign autographs. He'll sell you crafts, whatever you want to do. David might be there. We can't say for certain. We might just mail a cutout of David to the Hayes Mall.
It's only 8 hours drive for him. He's fine.
Yeah, it's about, what's it for me, 4 or 5?
Yeah, 5.
Ugh. It would be great, though, if we just sent cutouts of me and David and you just put them at your booth.
We're like...
All right. Well, until next time, guys, for more cool sports chat, click that link to your left. More from us here at Culz Paranormal to your right. Don't forget to hit that like, give us a subscribe, and let us know again, what did we do wrong in those playoff bracket that we did? We can come back and do it again. And let us know who's winning the college football championship. Tell us in the comments below.
Oh.